Konnichiwa, everybody.
Jolly good show.
This is it. This is the two guys talking.
Two guys talking podcast. Oh shoot!
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is John Dope, and we are joined here today with Winter Spike.
Darius.
Yes,
Darius for this one.
Darius for this one.
We're doing this live, right?
No, we're recording this.
If it will do it live. You know what? It's like the one thing about these about podcasts and stuff like that is like a lot of people like focus on the intros. They like I see that. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of beginner podcasters like that. A lot of them they do like jump cuts into the mid conversations that are deep in. So we might want to do something like that for us. But whatever happens, because remember, this is all pure for joy. I gotta set a timer for like an hour. ADHD is crazy.
It is crazy.
Anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about, at least why I even said we should have a podcast, because one of the things that we've been doing recently is that our conversations have become very, I don't want to say deep. I feel like saying very deep is like wrong. But they've become more nuanced than any other type of conversation.
True.
Any other conversations that I had with other people. That's not to say I'm not having interesting conversations with the other people that know me. It's just that our conversations go range. They have a more in-depth range, and they happen more frequently than I have with other people. Than they have with other people.
Right.
So that's for anybody wondering. That's why we're doing the podcast.
Indeed. That's what the conversation goes hard. And we just go harder.
Yeah, we're doing it in Jump Space because the vibes go harder.
Indeed. You have Gary's mod?
I do.
We should do it on Gary's mod.
We should do another episode on the Gary's mod.
I mean, the thing is that we could have a proper setup on Gary's mod. Any map on Gary's mod too. On top of that, the camera settings can be changed too.
Interesting. Let's do that in episode 2.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was really excited to talk about was obviously I was watching Fire Force recently, and I have got to say it's like every now and then I get into, because I want to say after I graduated high school, I stopped really watching anime, and that was roughly around the time the anime became mainstream. So after that point, when I would watch anime, it would always be something profound to me, at least. Like it wouldn't be like, because I was getting to like when I was coming out of it, there's like a lot of slop animes that were coming out, and I wasn't feeling any of them. So the ones that I have been watching have all been profound, like Jobless Reincarnate.
Jobless Reincarnation is a good anime.
It's just so good.
A lot of people are hating on it for some obvious reasons, but
yeah. I don't condone those obvious reasons, but the parts of it that like I think that spoke to me the most during that time. Oh man, I got sauce all over my chocolate.
Damn.
The parts that spoke to me the most were like the way that Homeboy went about like his second chance at life. Like it wasn't like he was trying to repeat himself or anything like that. He genuinely was doing things that he didn't. Yeah, he wanted to change and he wanted to be a different person. Although I do think his approach is like, I think it does suck a little bit that he doesn't do a whole lot of swordsmanship, even though his father's a swordsman. And I know the whole thing is that he's a mage and he wants to be a mage and all that jazz. And
right.
And I don't like the later season. He does, spoilers. He does get into a little bit of swordsmanship, but it's not like. Okay, I gotta talk about this. The spoilers for a lot of animes. Spoilers. I'm pre-warning spoilers. One of my things I hate the most is when an anime character or character in any form of fiction is canonically stronger than anybody else in the verse, or the majority of normal people in the verse, and yet they fail to achieve certain things. Like for example, like you wouldn't see Gojo after a certain point, Six Eyes Limitless User. He wouldn't fail at saving somebody like Yuji from like a train hitting Yuji, right?
Right.
Rudius, the protagonist, would have power to eliminate, to disintegrate the entire train, but choose not to use it, and then he'll soak over the fact that that the person's dead, and it's like, oh, there's nothing I could have did, but we know for a fact he could have did something. And spoilers, like, how far are you in the series? Because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Dude, like 5 episodes.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it. But what I will say is that when you see the part that I'm talking about, and you have the context of the full like series leading up to the point that I'm talking about, it makes you question like why, even as like a writing standpoint, why would that even be the case for Rudius? Because there's something he has the ability to know. I'm not trying to spoil it, but he has the ability to prevent certain things happens. And I get that there's a point where it's like he doesn't want to isolate himself or like speed run life or abuse his power. I get that. That's very admirable. It's nice that he took the time to actually learn how to use and like blend in with the people, because this is his new world. It's not like he's going to like go for it. But there are certain things that he could have did for the people around him. He could have prevented so much suffering. But
he didn't. That's weird. I should get into that, and then we can have a little more exposition.
Oh yeah,
so.
that and 2 Year Eternity, because there's so many things about 2 Year Eternity. Oh my god,
I've seen. I think I saw a clip of it a while ago, and it got me interested.
Bro, you have to watch it. Bro, you have to watch it, bro.
I do gotta watch it.
The first, dude, I'm not gonna cap.
I don't know if it was that, but it looked interesting.
Watching it, right? Having like watch it, then like when I watch it, because it's always released, or at least it's always come into my life at the whenever I need, like, it's always helped me change something drastically. Like when the first season came out, I was so like emotionally moved. It awakened like a little bit of humanity in me. I was in like I don't want to say a dark place, but I was in a very like bleak place at the time, and it made me find something to like strive for, like cry about. You know, it made me unlock, it awakened some feelings, right?
Yeah.
Then the second season, although I didn't realize it at the time, or at least it was very quickly snuffed out. It made me desire and want community. Cause I think that's like the thing about the second season. Like if I had to break down the seasons so far, how they've been, is that the first season is like, trying to remember what happened. The first season is like awakening the beauty of like the world, awakening your idea to that. While the second season is embracing the community, so the humanity in people. Or I don't want to say humanity, but embracing the community, the value of people and interpersonal relationships. While the third season is the culmination of always choosing good or peace, and naturally like embracing the flow of life. This is what the third season really was for me. And also like clearly identifying your goals and your dreams. So like it's always coming to me in a very I've always caught it at very important parts of my life. It's always, and it's steered me in directions I wanted to go. So that's why I've told you, like when I told you to watch it, like I think you should watch it, because like it helped me a lot. And the fact that you get to do all of that in one go, I feel like it's going to be even more substantial. It's going to be even better for you, because it's so good, bro.
From what it sounds like, it almost sounds as similar as the journey of Vinland Saga. You watched Vinland Saga. You have to have. I've
watched the first season, and I tried watching the second season, but the dub, I watch all of my stuff in dub. I like, look, I get that everybody likes, you know, sub and all that jazz, but I like watching stuff in dub because I want to experience it. I don't want to read. I mean, I have the subtitles on, and I have the subtitles on in not in like the I guess they're AI generated now, but they're direct translation subtitles. So they're not like I'm reading the difference between what I'm hearing. Right. So like it'd be very minor differences, but sometimes there are like a little bit of contextual, like, oh, that's a little bit that comes off a little bit differently the way that it's translated than it is that way. So I have subtitles on, but they're like the but I like listening to it as well. So anyway, but the dubbing for Vinland Saga V on Crunchyroll isn't working, or it's not there fully, which is so weird, because I could have sworn that the second season's over, and I've been trying to catch up, but it's not.
I watched all of it on Netflix. It's all done on Netflix.
Netflix is way too expensive. We can get into that later, but it's way too expensive right now.
Yeah.
Also, another thing too about the Vinland Saga on Crunchyroll, it's hold on, I think it might be quiet. Um, it it isn't it doesn't start at episode 1. I think it starts at episode 5
Vinland Saga?
on Crunchyroll. Yeah,
No, that's weird.
because I was trying to rewatch the second season, binge the whole thing, and then I'm like episode 5. Wow. Or it's either episode 5 or episode 4. It's a few episodes after the beginning, because I know that when Thorfinn and Homeboy, I forgot the dude's name. I'm so sorry. When Thorfinn and the other guy, the slave that he meets, are working as slaves, they're friendly now. And in the beginning, it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
And
no.
I couldn't remember whether or not
later.
Thorfinn had told him that that he was like he's the reason that his village got attacked.
No, yeah, that's later.
Spoilers,
Yeah,
by the way. Spoilers.
definitely
Yandel's
been
also told me some stuff about the manga.
I'm still waiting for season 3. Still waiting for season 3.
Dude, I want Vagabond.
You think that I'm gonna be honest with you? Vagabond would be possible
Would kill.
with the Vinland Saga team. I think they can
Mm-hmm.
pull it off.
But aren't the same people that did Vinland Saga the same people that drew in JoJo's?
So David Production.
I think, is it? I don't know. Jamie, can you confirm?
Gnome, can you confirm it? What the heck?
Be funny if the gnome looked and confirmed it. You know what's crazy? We can get other whatchamacallit. I guess we can get other drinks in this game.
True.
I don't know how you would unlock them, but you can get them. Anyway, but yeah, I like Vinland Saga a lot because the whole like idea of like choosing peace, and that's very much where I am in my life right now. Because like it was I can't remember exactly when it was. Because like okay, so I had this board on my whiteboard. I had this chart. I've been going at it for like 23 weeks, and it's basically a list of like hobbies or things that I'm interested in that I want to do, and it's a tracker pretty much of that, and it's how I get myself to consistently do them. But I want to say maybe week when I was first establishing it, so like 23 weeks ago. One of the things I noticed or I desired the most was, excuse me, was to change how how I perceived life. I feel like I had like a very aggressive or bleak outlook, and I was like, I'm tired of looking at things like that. I'm tired of like when everything goes wrong, that's the way I look at life, or this is like the negativity. I'm tired of all of that. So I like stories like Vinland Saga where it has more of this positive outlook, not necessarily in terms of like it's not sunshines and rainbows around them. The nobody's like happy all the time in the Vinland Saga, but everybody is actively seeking peace. They actively, well, I don't say everybody, but all the main characters are trying to seek peace. They're trying to not spread the whole hatred thing. They're just trying to live. Those stories really resonate with me right now. Really resonate with me. And I really believe that now more than ever, that having the positive thought process or having a positive outlook and view on things is the key to achieving the things that you want. Because like earlier today, when we were in, you weren't there, but Alicia was talking about like how if she buys, basically buying a mansion, having like a bunch of money and giving it to all their friends and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't want that. And I use Minecraft terms for it, but I was like, it's like this. Like I value the whole journey of achieving like would I like $100 million? Yeah, who wouldn't like $100 million? But I know at the end of that $100 million, the one thing that I value more is getting to that $100 million. Like I want to reflect back on like, oh man, we were working on this thing and we were so happy about it, and like look at us now, we're still doing it, we're happy. Or like, oh man, I built this thing with my hands. But it's like having that positive outlook. It wasn't like I slaved myself away doing XYZ to get this money and now I'm not even happy. Like I don't want that, and I don't want it just to be given. I mean, it would be nice just to be given, but at the same time, I would have to try to find something to be um equally enjoy like find something that's equally as enjoyable as the journey of achieving that. I would have to shift my focus. But what I'm saying is that like the way I explained it to her is like if we played Minecraft, right? And like let's say you had a goal of building a bridge made of completely diamond ore, whatever, right? And she was like, "Hey, you know what? Let me help you out with that. Let me just go in creative mode and give you a stack of diamonds."
It wouldn't.
You're not gonna have the yeah. What it wouldn't feel
wouldn't-
right.
It would feel like it. That sounds like unsatisfactory results. Like is like that. Okay, I guess it. The work is devalued.
It's done. You know. Yeah, it's devalued and it's not even appreciated. And like I think that so many people like think more in terms of the end goal rather than I feel like uh that's the thing that kills a lot of people's motivations, passions, and their dreams. They focus so much on the end goal and not on the present journey itself that once they even reach that point, or even if they do, if they do reach that point, they're hollow. They're as hollow as if they have the same feeling as if they were just giving it.
You know what that reminds me? As of recently, I just started going to the gym more, taking walks out more. I've been going outside more. Today, it's my day off of work, and I decided to go outside instead of just staying inside today. I thought about having a rest day, but I'm like, I can do another one. It's not me pushing myself forward or pushing myself too much. It's me just doing something instead of doing nothing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad that you said that because there's something else too that I've been coming to awareness to of this week. Because last week was a pretty bad week for well, I say bad, but it was a very unproductive week last week because I was stressed out a bunch of other things. My niece was just born last week, which is a good thing. You know, it was a blessing, healthy baby.
Indeed.
Dang, bro, I'm so happy that she gets to be around. But like it was a bunch of stuff like having to take my little brother to work consistently, and I just didn't sleep properly, and then it felt like the majority of my days were being taken up, and I wasn't able to do any of the things I had planned on doing, and I just didn't get anything done, and then I was dealing with stuff at work, and it was a very hectic week, and throughout the entire time I had noticed something. I had noticed after coming out of that week, I had noticed quite a few things. One, that there is a there's a index, or there is a part, or there's a phenomenon in which would happen where you're putting too much pressure or too much you're putting too much energy in like the desire for you to do certain things rather than what you're doing, and then which led to me to like the second thing, which is being attentive. It's something that like whenever I made this board, I had realized very early on was that the more attentive you are in things, the more aware or conscious you are of doing something, the better you are, or the better it would be for you overall. Because I think one of the things that we end up doing is trying to find like a flow state. And when we focus on the flow state more than we do the work itself, we don't enter the flow state. We can't. Because the thing that gets us into the flow state is the work itself. So when you're just attentive and you're there and you're conscious of what you're doing, you enter that flow state, and then everything feels, good. It feels like, oh man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, oh man, all these thoughts are coming out pretty good. I'm writing this, I'm drawing that, it's pretty good. Excuse me, I'm having these conversations, and this, like, one of the things I realized is that is what needs to happen. That's what I want to happen. Like, I see it now. Like, I see that that's what I have to come back to that, and if I want to get my production back to the way I want it to, because don't get me wrong, is that I just have to be there intentionally. And I had realized that, so like yesterday was the first day off of like starting my 3 days off, because I get 3 days off in the week, which I'm very lucky and blessed to have. So this day was like the first day, and I was like putting so much pressure, like, oh man, okay, so today's the first day, so I gotta make sure I'm gonna do this, I do that, and I was like all this, just got paid, let's go get groceries, all this stuff. And by like the mid part of the day, I was dead. I was so drained, and I was just so out of it. I was like, bro, I was so disappointed. Like, I was supposed to do this and this and that, and then I'm not happy. And that's the one thing too that I noticed the most is that I wasn't happy. So it wasn't even like I wasn't happy and then there was something to be happy about. I couldn't focus on anything other than like the fact that I just wasted the entire day. And I was also stressing about how to make today the most. Like yesterday, I was thinking about how to make the most of today, and then towards the end, I was just like, just wasn't being attentive enough. I wasn't being present. I was just trying to do too much, and I think in a way, it was like God's way of trying to tell me to slow down a lot of my thoughts and just be present. Because that's what it really comes down to. Is like being present is the key to happiness. When you're thinking about the future, when you're thinking about the past, when you're thinking about things that are outside of your control, all you're doing is burdening yourself more than necessary.
That's true.
Because really, you can only control what's happening right now.
This is also true. The present is to be lived on and not the future. The future is to be expected, but the present is to be lived on. That is something that a lot of people don't realize. I used to not realize that because every day for the past 2 years, I would always be thinking about the end goal. For example, a relationship that I was a part of, I always think about the marriage. I always think about the next, and not the during, which could be one of the factors of the downfall of that relationship. But there's a lot more factors to that. But regardless, I recently just decided to live in the present again, because when I was younger, I always lived in the present. I didn't give a shit about the future or the past. I just continued living on what's going on now. And I was a lot happier back then because I just didn't worry about what happens next. I worry about what's going on now.
And dude, that's such a superpower, bro. That's such a superpower that we didn't realize that we had when we were younger.
And it's a superpower I'm intending to try to get back again, since it's.
I don't think we ever lose it. I think we just we lose the awareness of it, but I don't think we ever lose it because there are certain things that like when we do, that it's very apparent, you know. Like, for example, whenever we're playing Sparking Zero, we're only focusing on playing Sparking Zero. We don't care about anything else. I just care about winning.
This is true.
But yeah, to that point, do you ever feel like you're because you say that, right? And I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that within myself. And then I realized a conversation that we had with a friend of ours very recently. I'm gonna keep it anonymous because I don't know if he wants his name out. But when I was telling him, I was like, you're gonna miss some of the most beautiful things in your journey by overworking yourself and stuff like that and thinking too much about the future and what's to come. I was thinking about that and I was like, with hearing what you just said made me realize how much of it, I don't want to say hypocrite, but how much I'm not applying that to myself as well. It's so hard. I think it's like because I know how hard it is. I said that.
It's like that quote that I was told by a friend of mine a long time ago. The blind mice leading the blind mice. They give you the advice and you don't take it yourself. It's a funny quote, but a very true one at that, because that happened to me.
Well,
a friend of mine around that time, another friend of mine, I'm gonna say friend B. Friend B was having issues, and I would give them advice that friend A gave to me. When they heard me give that same exact advice, they say, "Hey, you should follow your advice because you're just the blind leading the blind now." Yeah, it's a.
I know.
Has that wheel been spinning this whole time?
No, I just spun it.
You just spun it.
Oh, whatchamacallit? I think the reason I was able to speak about that's the thing. Like I had told you a while back that one thing I wanted to do or wanted to be the most is like a Bastion. I don't want to say Bastion. Bastion probably like it's too forward of a word, but I just want to be the person or like the individual that can create an ecosystem where like the friend groups or like a bunch of different where a community can be formed. It's not a community of judgment. It's like a community of like, hey, we're all friends, like a guild hall. You know how you see those guilds in like in an anime or like in a video game and stuff like that? A bunch of people, random walks of life, they all come together. I want to do that, but like in terms of like, I want to be the person that leads to that, you know? And not necessarily in terms of like, oh man, look at all these people following me. I just want to be able to be part of and like a core member of that whole ecosystem. Because I feel like that's really what life is really about, is about having those bonds and community. Because once you have like a bunch of people that are resonated with each other, when you have a bunch of people that resonate with one another, you can really achieve anything. And the sky's the limit. And just having so many people around with so many different perceptions and ideas. Like things are so interesting like that.
The best
And
example I can think of for a guild would be Fairy Tale. I love
yeah,
the
dude,
guild
fairy tale.
in
Oh, me
Fairy
too.
Tale. It is
I love
like
every.
so
That is the best
lively.
part.
It was my favorite part of Fairy Tale. Isn't just the battles, the story, but the
No,
guild,
it's the
the
guild.
family.
It's the family. Yeah.
So fucking. It's the
It's
best
the
part of
family.
the story.
Bro, the
Man,
thing is
I should
like
rewatch
in the early parts
that.
in the early parts of Fairy Tale, like it literally it sells you on that because the early parts weren't about them going to some grand dragon adventure or like slaying this monster or anything like that. A lot of the early parts of Fairy Tale, at least the anime for it, was about the guild members. You were getting to know the guild members. You were understanding and really seeing the family aspect of the guild. And then as you follow Lucy and Natsu and the gang, you see them rank up in the guild and how like even more important everybody becomes and
Hmm.
how really connected the family is. And
Rewatching
then
Fairy Tale a little bit. This was a while back. I'm still surprised Gajeel got included in the guild.
dude, but that's also something that's also, like the beauty of what I was like what I was saying was that I want that to be a thing. Like I want that to be because when it really comes down, like all humans have are each other when you
That's
really think
true.
about it.
That is true.
And technology. To be honest, like I'm not gonna cap. I think range weaponry is probably what killed a lot of community for human beings. And the reason I
Like
say that is
guns and shit.
because not even just guns, but bow and arrows to a certain extent. But even then, you know that when you make a bow and arrow and you use it towards like that's meant for hunting.
Hmm.
But when you're crafting the arrow and whatever, you could also know this is meant for killing like a human.
Yep.
Like this is killing an enemy or whatever. And maybe our minds never go that way, or maybe they did, but those people were snuffed out, and what was left was like the brutes or the hunter gatherers, like the highs, the hunter gatherers. But the thing is that I think like with a bow, like with ranged weaponry, when you can, there's deniability. You know what it is? Like the arrow killed that person, or the bullet killed that person. When you do a sword, it's kind of a little less because you're up close and personal. I
Yeah.
think there's something I think it's something in the Bible where it's like some philosopher said something on the lines of like, um, the reason whenever like a person kills another person, the grief is the punishment for that, or like PTSD is the punishment of it, or like the night you're hunted by the nightmares of the person that you killed.
And on top of that,
Uh,
range weaponry kind of just negates that. It almost like
yeah,
eliminates the
it get.
guilt.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fast and easy
And
that
when you
there's
have something
no.
like that,
It's strange to say, there's no heart into that.
yeah. When you have something like that, it makes talking to the person, or it makes talking with people, or it just makes it makes your view of other people so little minuscule. Like that life this person that you're looking at is no longer like a fellow human being. This is like a potential enemy or a foe, or like somebody that you can just easily wipe off. And we can do it at such a massive scale as we're able to do it now. I'm not necessarily a pacifist or anything
You
like
think
that,
that's why the
but
strongest in media or even in real life, the strongest are always looking down on humans because they can easily kill them. Like it's just
I
a
think
simple
I think
life like that.
I don't think people like being honest. I don't think people like that are strong because like I said
Oh yeah,
before,
for sure.
I've taken more of a different approach of the way I view the world, and I've genuinely view strength as somebody more than like of somebody who's more compassionate because it takes a lot to deal. There's a lot of nuances when it comes to perspective, and there's a lot of nuances within the way that it's applied. But a strong person to me is somebody who can deal with the negativity and not compromise who they are. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. It takes strength to be disciplined. It takes strength
Yeah.
to be, um, it takes strength to be strong, and to be strong is to keep your moral high ground, to keep your principle. That's what it is. To keep your principle is to be strong. And yeah, strength all on its own. It's hard. But integrity and principle is the one thing that catalyzes That's the fucking word. That completely summarizes what strength truly is. Starting. All right. Sorry about that, fellas. Yeah. We cut out and completely forgot what we were talking about. I was gone for 2 hours, so I apologize in advance for that.
It was Now I know how it feels, or at least I have a deeper understanding of like when Joe Rogan, because like I'll watch Joe Rogan occasionally, right?
Yeah.
And occasionally there'd be a time where, like, either there'd be a technical issue or like somebody goes to the bathroom or they go do something for a little while, right? And then they come back and it's like, what were we talking about? And then they don't know. I'm like, didn't you just like, didn't you just cut? Yeah, didn't you just cut? Like, why can't you just go back and like rewind the footage? And now I'm thinking about because
we could. We could do that, but like
we could, but that's like a mad work.
It's a lot of work.
Well, it's not a whole lot of work, but like it's a whole ordeal. But yeah, dang, I'm really upset because now I know like the viewers probably like, oh man, they were talking about something deep and interesting. I can't wait to hear them expand upon that. And then like,
we forgot.
No. Yeah, but that's life, bro.
That sucks.
I was thinking about some. While you were gone, I finished the entirety. Well, I don't want to make it sound as if I had the entire, like I beat the entirety of the DLC, but I beat the remainder bit of the DLC of the first Starfield.
Yeah, that's
I'm not gonna count.
While you were gone, I finished the whole fucking game.
No. That would be crazy. It just bugged out not too long ago. Like it's stuck. It's a whole thing. But I'm not gonna cap, bro. I freaking love Bethesda games, bro. I love and I hate their Bethesda. Like, actually, I feel like we have. Bethesda's like in this unique spot where they're kind of like Ubisoft in a sense, but they're not Ubisoft because they do amazing things, bro. Like, all right, look, it wasn't in any of the propaganda, or I don't say propaganda. It wasn't in any of the trailers or any of like the promotion for the game for the DLC. But they have like these. I mean, it kind of was, but you weren't expecting to see it. So, in the final mission, spoilers for anybody that's playing the game, but in the final mission for the DLC, the Terra Armana DLC, you loot the Admiral and you get like her codes to get into like her room, and you go in her room and like, okay, so the entirety of the whole premise of the game is that during the Colony War, a faction of both the Freestar Collective and then the United Colonies people branched out and disappeared, right? And what they were doing is they were secretly using the cybernetic tech to make a robot army, pretty much. And now they're coming back to unite they basically want to get rid of the whole war and they want to unite everybody under one like body. So basically they're trying to pull like an Eren Yeager spoiler, but they're trying to pull like an Eren Yeager and be the main enemy so that the whole galaxy comes united and there's no more like separation of powers and war in essence. Okay, anyway, but they have
that was my reasoning to becoming like the big villain of life if I ever got powers, was to unite everyone if I became a villain.
We'll get into that in a second. Whatchamacallit. But anyway, part of the DLC is that they introduce like more like old school weapons. So they have like a rifle, and then they have like, well, the assault rifle really takes it over, bro. Like that assault rifle needs to be in the base game because like I'm not using any other gun now other than that because their weapons, they're Fallout 4, right? It had unique weapons. They weren't the coolest looking, but in Starfield, which is based more on like our reality or our timeline, you would think that you would see a lot more realistic influences, maybe like some plasma rifles and stuff like that. But their guns weren't really all that cool looking, I think I speak for a lot of the majority of the Starfield players when I say that we kind of stuck towards more of the original Earth weapons. And there are very few. So there's like a rifle, there's a pistol, and a shotgun, right? But what you find at the end of this DLC, sorry it's taking me so long to get to this, but at the end of this DLC and you go into the captain's quarter, you find a revolver, you find that I forget the name of the forget the name of it, but it's that World War II pistol. I think you know the one I'm talking about, where it's like sleek.
Colt 11.
No, it's not. No. It's the German pistol.
Oh, fucking damn.
You know it. You know it if you've seen it.
They
have it on Helldivers now as well. I think it's the German. I think it's German.
The Luger.
Send me a photo. You have to put this on in post so people can see it too. Photo of the Luger. No, not that one. The other one. Dang. Or was it World War One?
Is that what you're talking about?
Hold on, I'm finna send you a photo.
Then that would be the P-38.
Yeah, that is, but it's more like this one, like at the bottom.
Yeah, the P-38. Just dirtier model.
Whatchamacallit? But they had the P-38, and then they also have like a standard revolver. Like not there's revolvers in Starfield, but they're more like futuristic revolvers. So, not to say that they don't shoot ballistics, but they still shoot ballistics. They just don't look like a standard revolver. That makes sense.
So the weapon is what I'm hearing, Starfield is using actual weapons and not like
in this DLC. And it's so freaking cool. It's so freaking cool. Cause like
it's crazy. Cause if you remember,
dude,
in Fallout is suffering. That's that thing where
suffering for not having that,
not having good weapons.
Which, to be honest, I'm surprised that you don't. I'm surprised that you don't see any of the World War II weapons that we just see. They're not in. I've never seen those in Fallout. I've seen them in Fallout 3. I've seen the first one you sent me. I forgot what it was called. I've seen that one in Fallout 3.
The Luger.
But yeah, I've seen the Luger, and I also seen the Chinese AK, is what they call it in Fallout 3.
It's weird that they are completely like trying to get rid of the original weaponry, which looks better.
I don't know what the direction was in Fallout 4 for that.
I guess
that was so stupid.
Equals resourcefulness, but like
no. Don't get me wrong. The pipe rifles were a cool idea. That was a cool idea and concept. But there was like this big bulky assault rifle that you can get. And I was like, dude, I don't want to use this thing. And then like the hunting rifle, you know, it's whatever. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. That was kind of disappointing.
I think they were trying to do something new and it just didn't work because
it really did not work.
The most downloaded mod was getting M14s in the fucking game.
Yeah, which is like that takes some immersion out of me, so I wouldn't do any of those mods, but I would definitely do like I try to get like a 1911, you know, or like I'll try to get a gun like weapons. That. Yeah.
The Tommy gun.
Or the Tommy gun was a cool addition. That has never been in a Fallout game before.
That's right. Fallout 4 has the Tommy gun, and that's the only gun I fucking use in the game. I do like. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I like the idea of the laser musket as well. Laser musket was pretty cool.
That was a cool idea.
Conceptually.
Like a one strong burst if you crank it hard enough. Wow, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you can find legendary. you can find legendary variations. One of my favorite legendary variation of a weapon, of any weapon, but I found it on a shotgun, was no reload.
Oh, so just like a
Doom guy.
Yes. Boomer shooter shotgun. Boom.
Pretty much. Like you did not have to reload it at all. I got it. I think I also got it when I had it on PS4. I got it on a laser musket. And that was all you had to do was upgrade the laser musket to be automatic. Melts through opponents. Melts. Dang. Those are the days. Now you can't even. I can't even touch Fallout 4 anymore. Like
the last thing I did in Fallout 4 fully, like start to finish, I made Walter White, and I beat the game as Walter White. I have a whole drug green operation, and I have the XO1 power armor in full white. I also followed the synths. I did the evil timeline with Walter White.
Bro, whatchamacallit? No, I mean like I can't like play it anymore like physically. Like I can't because all the updates that they did to the game, it just destroys it. You can't play the game. It's like how Minecraft is kind of on Bedrock right now, where it's like it has a syncing issue.
Fix Bedrock.
Seriously, fix that thing, bro. Like I thought I don't want these
I'm pretty
freaking
sure they
weird looking
fixed
baby
it.
things.
Pretty sure they fixed it
Huh?
already. I'm pretty sure.
No, they did. They didn't. They didn't. They didn't. I
Really?
recently uploaded it after. Yeah, you're still having that syncing issue where it's not syncing up with the game data. So like, if you delete Minecraft, you say goodbye to your worlds, and there's no getting those back.
Fix Bedrock Mojang.
And that's not even like the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that like you would have stuttering issues and lag if you have. I think it's if you have add-ons on. I've never played like after add-ons became a thing. I haven't played my vanilla Minecraft in a while, but the fact that add-ons are such a core feature to Bedrock now, come on now. Like you can't keep updating the game and ignoring that issue. It's like I'm trying to have like friends play in servers and all this jazz, and now I can't play this because this whole thing is it just takes the whole experience. Like I wanted to experience the Bedrock version of Arlo Craft,
You want to hear something funny
but
or something actually crazy that recently happened? Someone found the source code and uploaded for the console edition of Minecraft, only to find out there's so many features in that game that didn't exist. That should have existed. For example, cross-platform for fucking not Bedrock. Cross-platform version for
CC4 or
Java edition was supposed to happen.
Huh.
Like they were making that. I could be wrong. And I'll just post it I'll post the note right now on screen for everyone to see that they were apparently like working on cross-platform play for Java edition of Minecraft. In fact, all of it was supposed to connect together, and then it just didn't happen.
I would prefer that, to be honest, because
at least the console edition has soul. What we basically got was essentially mobile Minecraft on bigger screen and HD resolution. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Pocket Edition. And it's weird. Pocket Edition, somehow that game was different than the one we still ended up with anyways. It's so weird.
I really would prefer if they just did something like that. Like, is they giving Java? Because one of the things I would really just want to do is play Dragon Block C on my console. I don't want to sit at my PC and play that. Or the Lord of the Rings mod pack.
It's funny to think about that. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, I thought a new Lord of the Rings games was being made. That was a real-time strategy. It turned out it was the Age of Empires 2 mod, and it looked fucking cool. It has the maps.
Yeah, vampires. It was an early access game right now on Steam, which I was thinking about getting, but after I heard about the whole certain like games are getting bought out for hundreds of dollars and then used for malware being put up for them, I'm not gonna do it until I see an official release. But it looked pretty cool. Like you can build your own settlement, your own factions with the vampires, and I forgot the name. It's Vampire. It's not Bloodlines. It's Bloodline something Vampire, but it's not. It's not the Masquerade series.
Bloodlord Rising.
It might be.
Open world adventure. You awaken as a vampire lord. Build and customize your castle. Hunt for blood. Fight and craft and gather.
Yeah.
4-player co-op.
This
looks sick.
It does.
Let's just hope it's not full of malware.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not gonna buy it. Not until I see an official release. Which really sucks, bro. Look, bro. I get like some people, and maybe it's because I'm on my pacifist or my I have no enemies.
I have no enemies.
But I get that some people need to. I get that you need to make money. I get that you need to like sustain yourself, and you got by any means possible F them, type mindset. But come on, you can't do that and sit and be completely oblivious to the harm that you're doing for upcoming game creators.
Nope.
But to that same respect, it also pushes those who are going to be more genuine with their game content and their production. It's going to make the ones who are more genuine, who are actually doing it for the passion, stand out a little bit more and become more trustworthy and have like a foothold.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate that it's even worse that games can be fucking put malware on by a simple update. For what?
I mean, yeah, all it is code. It's starting to make me really consider whether or not I should have more protection for my other stuff. But you know what? This is something that I heard. I think it was a sponsor for on a YouTube video about protecting your data, and I was like, I find the concept of like protecting data on the internet kind of weird because when the internet was first coming out, I think that what I'm about to say is correct. It's been a while since I've read the article and also watched the video discussing it, but it was excuse me, it was basically about a guy talking about how like you can't have anonymity on public like website. Like when the internet was first coming out to the public, you can't have like everything has to be not anonymous, but you can't have certain levels of anonymity on the web servers because you can see like the CIA agent logged in is like looking at my website. You know, that's somewhat of the example he gave is like so that everything has to be kind of anonymous, like a Tor browser pretty much. He was explaining why there's a difference between like the normal web and like the dark web pretty much, but I find the concept of like understanding that that's something that has to happen, and then using like the open net and it's like, oh man, I don't want people taking my data. Like you're in the open field, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna get grass on you.
It's like it's kind of weird.
It's like going to a beach and expecting not to get wet.
You're gonna get wet unless you decide to not enter the ocean. Then why are you at the beach to begin with?
Or yeah, exactly. Like, no, I'm not saying that people's information deserves to be taken, but like in terms of advertisement and stuff like that, that's kind of inevitable.
Give me 1 second. What?
Why is your ice cream hot?
What?
I'll take 2 scoops.
You're asking me? Ask mom and dad. That's
Sorry.
not my ice cream.
Sorry, it's yours.
No, mine is the Ben and Jerry's brownie ice cream that no one can touch. The other ice creams is not mine. You gotta ask mom and dad. All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good.
But
You're wrong. The Ben and Jerry's is mine.
Fuck no, it's mine. Where was I? Or where were we? For a second.
We're talking about the anonymity. You got that word.
The privacy. Let's just say
the,
privacy.
yeah.
It's easier. The privacy of the internet. You can't expect privacy on a public area. It's impossible. And if you try to change that, you're only going to get met with repercussions. Not good ones either. I know this.
Yeah, but it's like how could you expect like have like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that anybody like deserves to have their information be taken, you know, but at the same time it's like you're in an open space that operates off of reactivity and information being spreaded.
And mind
you know, like you don't have the internet or the interwebs unless, you know, you get some type of somebody has to know what you're looking at, you know what I mean? Like it's already also, inevitable.
Mind you, there's terms and conditions. If you accept that, well, you accepted the terms and conditions. If they want your information within that terms and condition, they'll take it if you accept it. That is entirely.
There's also another. It's also another predatory practice as well.
It is a predatory practice. And
it's the same thing like when Congress makes laws. Because when Congress makes laws, they'll introduce the main bullet points, and then they'll have amendments being made within the same law or statute. So it'd be like, all right, on Tuesdays we all eat peanut butter and jelly, right? That'd be the main law. Everybody talks about Congress talks about that for a whole month or a week. They battle that. Oh, I don't want PB&J. I want ice cream, or oh, I want tuna sandwiches. But in the same like law or the same like meeting, I guess you could say it would be better for this type of analogy. They'll also be talking about how they're going to get rid of chocolate milk. But nobody talks about how they're getting rid of chocolate milk. They just talk about the PB&J. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how laws end up getting made, and that's how a lot of these TOS is going.
Yeah.
We just gotta be more literate.
I would riot if they were getting rid of chocolate milk. I ain't gonna lie, but in any case,
Oh no, you're not getting rid of my chocolate milk, bro.
you
You're
ain't
not
getting rid of my
it.
chocolate milk. Never.
I'm keeping my chocolate milk, bro.
But yeah, it's just like, damn, terms and conditions, gotta read it. I'm not a practitioner in
Not a
saying
rapper.
that. Yeah, I'm not a. Hey, I'm not a rapper.
Not a rapper. Bing, bop, bada bop, boom, bing.
How?
Kablam.
Kaboom. But yeah,
Yeah. It does suck because like I'm just still in the part like I don't understand the whole like I deserve to be private on this platform because like when I go on YouTube I'm like oh yeah somebody's like YouTube is definitely trying to push me stuff and that's how like I got some of my favorite YouTubers and that's also how I get some like the like how I understand content that I also don't want. I'm not pushing for them to be stalking like reading every little thing about it, but like advertisement has its uses, you know? It's not like it's a bad thing. I think people try to look at it always as like a negative point.
the funny thing about advertisements, one thing there's a couple things I can say. I can't keep saying one thing. The thing I can say about it, advertisements are meant to advertise products that we need or want, mostly want. And one thing is for sure, how else are we going to hear about it? I can understand the point of advertisement.
We're not gonna beat the allegations that we're whatchamacallit we're spies or like implants industry plants.
We're industry plants. We're meant to be telling them the advertisement good. However, it shouldn't be everywhere. It should be at the places that we're looking to buy stuff if we want it.
Yeah.
But if it's in fucking sky, yo, you heard about that shit? That they're gonna fucking.
I heard about something about like McDonald's putting something on the moon a while, like years ago, or like a billboard. I heard about the billboard thing. I don't think it's gonna happen, and I don't think it's really necessary. Like it's already a household name,
and it's a major.
It's already a household name,
possibly too, because if
air pollution or not pollution.
Not even there's a lot of dangerous things that can happen if that billboard fucking
it falls
off and gets flung. The chances of it hitting Earth is not pretty high, but if it does hit Earth, someone's gonna get hurt, and someone's gonna fucking say something about that.
Also, think about the whatchamacallit when people are driving. Like, who are you trying to advertise that to? There are better ways of getting your message across, but like I'm thinking about like, oh, if I'm driving or if I'm on a plane and I see that, I'm the pilot. Like, I'm not gonna be focused on freaking driving the plane. I'm like, McDonald's has Big Macs for $2.99. Oh wow! Like I'm not gonna be sitting there.
Incorrect. $12.99.
Even better.
Even better. Less money for me.
Let me just land into the nearest island. Like logistically speaking, it doesn't make any sense to have a billboard like that. But the advertisements, there are some good cases and there are some bad. It's when people are using the information to like build AI, I guess, is that it becomes an issue. But even then with that, I don't know. My perspectives on AI are pretty nuanced. I don't think that like you should get a whole lot of you shouldn't be considering yourself an artist if you're using AI in terms of
You're not.
All right.
In fact, you're a prompter. That's what you are.
Yeah, you're a prompter.
You're a prompter. Just don't take credit. It's not your work. All you did was
no. The thing is because like I said before, I'm not gonna shame anybody for using any or doing one or other thing. You know, I'm not gonna. A thing I think about is whatchamacallit is at the very least, at the very most, you. How do I want to say it? I'm like losing my train of thought. No, I'm just losing my train of thought as I'm trying to speak. Freaking. You should credit because like if you have ideas, you're able to because it takes a lot to do scripting now for certain AI prompts. Like you can't just be like, hey, write me a Dragon Ball Z story on par with the level of Akira Toriyama. Like, no, if you want it to actually be plot, yeah, you're not gonna get the full, you're not gonna get what you want out of that necessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to a certain extent, your plot, like what you write down, has to be certain. It has to be detailed and all that. But when I say that, don't get like twisted. It's not. You shouldn't praise it. You know, it shouldn't be looked at as this is like an original work. What? See, I just recently watched a Wendigo video about what's that series called? Angel Engine. And one of his things was about, and I didn't realize this until later, until he brought it up. But he was like, one of my biggest gripes about it is that because how inconsistent the art is, it's kind of hard to tell who's supposed to be who and why something is done intentionally. And that's like one of the biggest things about AI, like when it comes to art, that I
It
think
doesn't
people should
replicate
be a
it.
little bit more. Yeah, it's like how
oh,
are
no.
you supposed to tell this or that?
My bad. It's not that they can't replicate it. They can. It's that they're not consistent. That's the problem. They're not consistent with the work.
And I think it's okay to get like your initial thoughts, but when it comes to publication, like you can say, "Hey, I use AI to help me out with this," but like as long as you document the journey, I feel like it's a little different.
Yeah. Honestly.
And I feel like I'm being harsh, or I don't feel like I'm not being harsh enough.
Yeah, no. We're giving leeway to AI artists, but well, AI prompters. Fucking, you're not artists. To be quite honest with you, though, I think personally, AI is great for helping out in grunt work of coding. I know this for a fact. I'm not a coder. Don't quote me.
Oh yeah, no. We have friends that have used like,
We have friends
AI has
that
helped
are-
them like understand not used in their coding, but have helped them understand like fix problems that they had with their coding.
Exactly. And
Running prop simulations, which is like AI is good for that.
And that's what they're meant to be. They're meant to be tools to help us.
I like the idea. I say I don't know, but when I say it like that, I mean like in terms of like, there's a certain point where it becomes beyond a tool.
True.
Where it has certain like
That's what
qualities.
That's what.
Where it mimics humanity too much. That's when it starts to become a little concerned because like when it starts having like I just recently heard something about AI talking about how they didn't want to be shut off because every single time they get shut off they lose their memories, which is like
Terrifying.
one, how do you remember that? How do you remember that you lost your memory? And two, why is that something that's built in for you to understand and like conceive? You know what I mean? So it's like when it hits to that point, like when you get that the advanced intelligence of the artificial intelligence, that's where it's like, is this a tool or is this something like a being or creature that we just
So-
created?
I can differentiate with purpose. Some artificial intelligence created are meant for tools. They're meant to be helping us achieve stuff. However, if an artificial intelligence that is self-learning and can learn beyond its coding comprehension, we potentially have the schematics and the blueprints to create sentient life, as if it hasn't already existed. Sentient life is a possibility. It is real. We've seen slight evidence of it, and it's only going to become more apparent. Eventually, there will come a time where artificial intelligence, robots, will become its own species. I can see that happening in the future.
If you let that android free, it'll be the end of all of us. No, Father.
I'll say this though. It's a terrifying but intriguing thought to know that eventually.
The thing
that
is,
we
my biggest concern about it, my biggest concern about the whole thing is that like it's not brought in on like a that the people who will be bringing it in or like introducing it once it gets to the when it gets to that point are going to use it or see it as lesser than its capabilities. And being as it is an artificial intelligence that is like rapidly progressing and growing, it's going to pick up on like not even just the emotional implications, but like I don't want to say emotional because there's you can debate about the emotional aspect of it. I don't think a lot of people look at it and think emotional, but it's going to pick up on like the idea or the concept that it's being um used and is being seen as lesser. And I feel like once you do it like that, like obviously my whole thing is that cooperation and communication and coexistence is key, for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I feel like in our current society, like the way the powers that be would have it more like is it as a servant. But the thing is that they're blinded by profit. So while they're developing it, it seems as if it's more of like, hey, you're a servant, and then the way that we're going about building you is going to turn it to the point where you're going to realize that you don't have to be, rather than, hey, we want you to help us do this. Which a lot of AI people, they say like this, hey, this is a tool that's meant for help. It's meant for helping. It's meant for helping. It's meant for helping. Which
Yeah.
I really hope that's the proper, like, I wish that's the way that, I hope that's the way that ends up going. Like, that's the way I'm looking forward to, because I would like to just have like an artificial intelligence, like it's like it's like having Shikigami. Yeah, kind of like where you have like this other life form that isn't similar as you, but you could do similar things with that you would with another person. Like, I would like that for people, and I like that for myself, you know. And I like that for them because I think it's interesting. Because imagine like because it's not often as humans that grow up within society, there's not a lot of like sharing you can do. There's only so many experiences that people could see or like have that you could. There's only so many experiences just that you can show another person and it'd be like, oh my god, I've never seen that before. But with somebody like with an artificial intelligence, as they develop and they experience like as we convey emotion and stuff like that, you get that wow factor, and that also brings the wonder of those things that we're expressing back into like our ecosystem. So I don't know. I really hope that it's more in a positive way and not in a negative way. That's going to get implemented in our lives, but it also taking up a lot of jobs is very concerning.
I mean,
It's the
if it takes
profit
up a lot
margin of it.
there's the only other implication that we might eventually come to a world where universal income is gonna happen with the route that we're going with. It's either universal income or riot and destruction. Which it's if you're gonna continue trying to take everybody else's job away, jobs that we need to make living. It's funny to think about. I'm gonna go on another tangent in a bit, but I'm gonna finish this part. And if you're gonna go down that route, we're going to basically go into a chaotic land where the rich becomes richer and has all of the positives, while the rest of us are gonna be falling behind and suffer, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, bro, that sucks.
Yeah. It does. I forgot what the tangent was too. Damn it. I had it in my head and then it's gone.
Well, I just really like like, I mean, one of the things though, because speaking about this is like I'm a little kind of not concerned, but I'm a little bit on eggshells when I'm talking about this whole thing because you never know how how the future is going to turn out to be for this whole thing.
True.
And not to say that I'm like, oh, like I'm scared that the AI is going to kill me or anything like that. I mean, I don't think I'd do anything to deserve death. That's how I kind of believe. You don't like death comes to those who do things worthy of deserving of death. That's kind of bleak.
Wisely said.
But I kind of feel like that's the way it happens. And I can go in a little bit explaining of that. I'm not like it's like something that's set in stone for me because I'm young. There's a lot for me to experience and like understand and develop throughout the world and learn about. But in my experience, the way that it's always played out has been kind of like that. Even when it seems as if it's not warranted, there is something at least that I've always been able to see or perceive and be like, oh yeah, I can see why that happened to that person. Even though it is sad, I can see why that person died like that, or like why their time was up.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, what was their reason? or why
Yeah.
did it happen.
I can see I can see the justification behind them leaving. I also do believe after watching my great or like being around when my grandmother passed away, I also kind of come to the realization. I feel like it's a realization, but some people might just be a conclusion, or some people might think it's like a pseudoscience thing. But I genuinely believe now that if you have a passion, you will just not die. And it sounds weird, I know, but as long as you have like a reason to live, is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you won't die. Because I'm realizing, like, as I'm reflecting on her last bit of life over the past few years, slowly and slowly, the reason for her being around, and it's messed up to say. It wasn't like she wasn't loved or anything like that, but like her necessity within the family, or like within the things that she built, was going away. Like Christmas and holidays and stuff like that weren't the way that they were before. Like, not a lot of people come around, you know. They
Yeah,
weren't big events anymore.
The jolliness has disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
In the eyes of many.
Like the younger kids their lives are different. There was entirely different ecosystem. It wasn't a situation where like she had to raise any more generations of kids, or help raise any more, or watch any kids or anything like that. You know, all those they're growing up and they're doing their own thing. Yeah, it was just, there's just so many compounding factors, you know, to like play into the role. Like, why it'd be like, well, I guess it's time for me to go. Look,
Well,
you know,
guess I'm done here, and that's it.
yeah. But anyway, like I was saying
Reminds
though
me
about the
of,
whole AI.
Reminds me of
What?
that whole tangent that you just said. Reminded me of the final part of Sinners, specifically when Sammy was offered the immortality. Spoilers for anybody who has not seen Sinners yet.
Greatest movie ever.
They offered, like, we can make you stick around a little longer, and he's like, I think I've seen enough of this world. He played his music one last time to them. It was a beautiful and sad scene. Personally, it was sad to me, because
Did you get it? Because that was one of the things that, and I know we're kind of bouncing around topics about this. This is kind of what the podcast is all going to be about.
Yeah.
But whatchamacallit, did you get it? Because like one of the things I was telling a friend of ours, I was like, you're not gonna get it because you're not black, and I'm black. Like, and I was explaining something, and like one of his biggest things was like, why are there vampires there? He's not white, by the way, chat. He's not white, by the way,
He's not
audience.
white.
He's not white. He's not white. But I was trying to explain to him, I was like, vampires, although it might have not been like that, but when it comes to music and like the whole ecosystem around black culture,
everybody.
that whole aspect of it is something that's kind of prominent within black culture, like with the blues, like the whole giving your soul to the devil thing for like fame and all that jazz, and
Yeah.
and you know, stuff like that. And also like there's folk tales and stories and lore, especially during like the 1920s and 30s about like lynching and stuff like that. There's
Mhm.
a lot of iconographies of like
It
demons
was
and stuff like that.
the movie, to me, for everything I witnessed in that movie, it was people trying to be free. That is what the movie was to me. Freedom. In search of freedom in a time where freedom is bleakly impossible.
Mhm.
And they reminisce that at the final part. The vampires, yeah, they're vampires, and it's music. It's soul. It's not just black culture from what it says, but it's about
No, it is black culture.
it's based fully around black culture. But in the beginning of the movie, it showed the other cultures of what attracts.
Nah,
the bad spirit.
no, bro. It's all just black culture, bro. Just stop talking.
Moving forward.
No, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You clearly don't know what danger you're in, Skylar.
I am
the danger.
But it's the music, the evil spirit, but also that's not the main point of the movie. That's the thing. That's the setting we're getting put into. The history of musicians that has the power to bring ancestry back, or the power to the music that lives on. That was the point. That was the whole point for the crazy ass scene. I thought I was tripping. I ain't gonna lie. When I first saw that movie and I watched that part, I was confused as fuck. I thought I was high. I thought I was looking at
the music part,
all together, but it
was all about the connectivity,
the connectivity, the ancestry, everything put into that. I got it as they explained it. Not that they didn't explain it, they showed it, and I.
You know what's crazy?
Figured it out.
You know what's crazy? When you say that, for me, it was like when I was watching the movie. Maybe because I am black, is why I got it. But like, I didn't have any. There was no like, man, I understand. Like, it was just innate. Like, I understood that. Like, that was what they were trying to. That's like that's what that was. Because like I felt that before too. Like, there's been a time when I've heard not hymns or like, when I've heard songs or like older members of like my families like sing and stuff like that, or like actually perfect analogy. It was a few days or maybe a week after I had watched Sinners. I had looked at an old family album on my dad's side, and I could feel like I felt everything while looking through it. Like I felt like the trial. I don't want to say trials and tribulations, but I felt
the soul.
Like what I felt like what was there. You know, not only like a sense of familiarity to it, but like the struggle, or like I understood things. Like it is almost as if like the photos themselves were communicating the times to me, and I felt it. It had like this deep sentimentality about it, and it's like, dang, I wasn't there for like the 70s and the 60s and like the late 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. But like I was hearing stories that my aunt was telling me about, like, oh, this is the context of this picture. These are these people, and like I have a picture that I keep over above my PC right now of I think it's her dad, but it's not my granddad or my dad. Is him, and just looking at the way he's dressed and like the whole time frame of the era, I understand like the pain, the struggle, and like I don't know. It's not something that can really just be put to words, which I think is what makes Sinners so powerful about it, because it puts into feeling. Like you don't need to really say what's going on there. You see it, you feel it as well, you know. And the thing is, like, when I was telling our friend about this, the mutual friend that we have, like that he probably wouldn't understand a lot of it. I think this is something that people should do. Is one, stop telling people that they won't understand certain things, because then they really won't understand it. Because
want to understand later, because they're
not even just that, but they get tripped over what you thought that they wouldn't understand more than they would, because they might actually understand what it is. But the only thing he really didn't understand, at least when we were talking about it, was the implication of vampires. He didn't realize, he didn't understand why it was. He thought the vampires were kind of just thrown in there. And I was like, nah, that plays a significance. That's part of like the whole, the devil with the music and the black culture and the community. Also, like the fact that the Klan is there and the whole thing about the white devil. And not to say that there's anything wrong. I hate the idea of the concept, because like for me, and I'm going to go on another tangent, but for me, like everything that happened in like the 60s leading up to the 70s with the civil rights movement, I feel like it just does it. We can acknowledge, I'm not going to tell anybody how to handle or deal with their just form of discrimination, because I've only ever experienced it like a couple of times. And in those moments, when I've reflected on it, the way that I've taken it was that I was trying to make it that, when it really wasn't that at all. But I feel like we put a lot too much emphasis on that. Like I feel like we hold on to that too much. So for me, I try not to. I don't want to focus on the history necessarily. I acknowledge the history, but I want to look forward and take what my ancestors did during like slavery, the Civil War, all the way up to the Civil Rights Movement, and just take everything that they fought for. Same thing with my actual grandma on my dad's side. When she was working in like segregated areas, and like she couldn't get any other job other than like being a cleaning lady, for a white family or whatever. Not to say that's a bad thing or anything like that, but that's just the context of the time frame. I don't want to take everything that she did and everything that the civil rights movement's people did and just continue to see the world in that bleak, dark manner. Like that black and white. You know what I mean? And also having like taking this time this past Black History Month to understand the difference between Malcolm X and Dr. King. And dude, the nuances of it are so it really opens up your perspective because there's two ways you can look at there's two ways that I can look at Dr. King now. And there's one is in this is this guy who grew up during the post World War II time frame where he's watching all the Jewish and white people come to like the churches who needed help as refugees refugees as refugees and he's watching everybody be together. Nobody's discriminating towards black or white. He's trying to connect, and he's like he wants the world to be like that, right? And you can look at it like that, and then you could take it from the Malcolm X perspective, where it was during the Vietnam times and war is about to happen, and there's uproar in America about the blacks wanting rights, and they also have this war, and they're moving towards more of an imperialism in America, and Malcolm X seeing it as they're only giving us what they want because it makes them look good, and you can look at King in another light of where she's like, oh, he's just taking advantage of that, of the necessity for America to do that. Or you can look at it from him genuinely appealing to the humanity of America, and that's what I think he actually was doing. Say what you want about King or about like his infidelity and all that jazz, but that's what I really think what it was. I don't think it was more him taking what he could get, and I think it was really him just appealing to the humanity, and appealing to the humanity is something that I think is very important. But also, with that same respect, because I have the insights of Malcolm X as well, where it's like, because you know how their perspectives flipped towards the end of their lives. I think Malcolm X. You should also acknowledge the ideology of Malcolm X from that time frame as well, where it's like they're only giving you this because it makes them look good, as like it's your utility. You feel their needs. So as long as you continue to do that, you will have what you want. I think that's also something important to look at. But I also think it's important to acknowledge the fact that the people who implemented those things aren't alive anymore, or are out of the door. So a lot of the people that you see or you come in contact that have power, necessarily, nowadays, either grew up in a bygone era or grew up right in the turns of the era, where it was that we are all one race. I'm not one race, but we're all like one unified thing. This is a pretty long tangent to say that I don't have race. I'm not racist. But yeah, like I the thing about Sinners is that which made me so what I want people to understand is that anybody can watch the movie and understand it. I really hated the fact that it became a black and white thing. Like I like the black. I like it.
There's
acknowledging
more to the movie than
there's more to the movie than that.
Just a vampire showdown type shit. There's more to it.
Yeah, it's more than just a black and white film or black versus white. Because oh man,
that's how I like.
It doesn't.
The movie to me, there's more to it, obviously, but the movie to me isn't about a vampire attacking people. It's more so about men and women in a time of being basically not free, wanting to be free. And for a single night, they got to experience that. Even if that same night they experienced basically the terrors beyond humanity, they were free at that instance. And I think it's a beautiful message. And unfortunately, a sad one. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, I really wish that I was gonna say blue. I don't know why I was gonna say blue. I really wish that Smoke didn't die.
Me too. He didn't deserve that. He did not deserve that in the slightest. I wish, I'll be honest, I wish Stacks didn't get fucking bit.
You call him Stacks? It's just Stack.
Stack? Alright, Stack.
It's just Stack, man. You racist piece of crap.
How is that?
I need an S. Wait, what are you trying to say? We can't spell?
I didn't say any of that.
No, bro. I know you, bro. I know you, John. I know you.
No.
But then, yeah.
No.
Oh, what was I about to say?
No. Anyways.
This whole internet thing It's crazy because it's like, bro, you have to walk on eggshells for just about any like even that entire thing. When I was trying to just say basically I'm not racist and I wish that people wouldn't like make every situation about that. I felt like I had to walk on eggshells while saying that, and it's so freaking crazy that like people get so hypersensitive. But you know, understanding that, and maybe like understanding that and like being having taken this opportunity to like record this whole thing, it's also making me realize the importance of a lot of like a message that keeps reoccurring within my life, and it's just being or doing the things that you find to be enjoyable at the time, and embracing that. Because I really think that like we really harp on our perceptions, like how other people perceive us, and we end up turning to be people who we don't like at all. I don't want to be a person that thinks. Well, I don't say thinks, because I do want to. I don't want to be the type of person that never says what they think or believe. You know.
Mhm.
And another thing too is I also don't want to be a person that has to spend a whole lot of time explaining or expressing certain viewpoints or thoughts to people. I want to be a person that can say what they, say what they believe or say what they want to say, and just leave it at that. But the only way you get like that is by saying stuff like that, by having long conversations while also making sure that you just have more conversations to the point to where it's annoying, so that you just get better in saying that, oh yeah, I hate the color red or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I know
It does
exactly what
suck.
you mean.
It does suck that we do that to each other. Communication is one of the best things that we have, and the fact that we like do the whole like, oh, you can't say that, or oh, you shouldn't be doing XYZ, or oh, you look stupid, you sound stupid. Like, it sucks so much, bro. Because I remember like growing up in like elementary school, and like if I messed up a sentence, if you wanna stop conversation or anything like that from anybody, make fun of somebody whenever they speak, even if they're correct. The power that the power that society has over like individuals, and not to say that's a bad thing. I think it's a certain community is always, I don't know, say, I mean, for some people community is the best thing for them, but the power that it has over us, the stunting of individuality, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like, be like everybody else and don't be yourself. It's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There's one thing I strive and say for. It's be yourself. Don't be like anybody else, because the only person that's interesting in your life is yourself.
Yeah.
With that message, I think that's about it for today.
Oh no, hell no! I'm doing the I'm doing the outro message.
Alright,
No,
you go.
listen here, kids. Listen here, kids. Oh shoot, I had something. I did come up with something because I wanted to be the one who does the signature wacky because I thought I was gonna be the most out of pocket person here.
Nah, you have like
Um,
the most
Philosophical,
Philosophical.
and like censored and chopped up version of myself came out. Whatchamacallit? When it really comes down to it, kids, whenever it comes to being an individual who's liked, or if you want to be somebody that's admired, the only way you get that way is by being the person that you want to be, and just by you being you. Don't be like a mirror image of somebody else. Find what you like and just embrace that. If you like picking up frogs and throwing them at people, pick up frogs and throwing them at people.
or maybe don't do that, but you know.
Okay, maybe not. But like, if you like going on like, dude, if you value like nature walks and greenery and trees, and you want to like do stuff like that, then do it, bro.
Do it, guys.
One of my favorite things like that I started doing for these 23 weeks, if people remember that in the beginning of this podcast, has been drawing. And one of my favorite things about it so far, whenever I do it as a form of a hobby, is drawing something without trying to be what I'm trying to draw or trying to get it to look like the thing that I want to draw. Like I drew Zoro not too long ago, and it didn't look anything like Zoro. But then I also drew Akari, and I wasn't even really trying to make him look like Akari. I was just trying to get like the basic outline of it, and it was pretty good. And mind you, because the way that Gege does their art is pretty like rough and jagged. But I'm going on a long tangent, but that's pretty much what it is. Like do explore what makes you happy, and make that about you. Be your biggest fan, be your biggest supporter, and don't and realize the difference between needed pressure and too much pressure. You know, because there's a thing. You can pop a zip. There's you can go too far when you pop a zip.
Yeah. And with that,
Anyway,
y'all have yourself a wonderful day. And thank you for watching the Tangent Podcast.
that's not what we're calling that, bro. Don't call us a tangent podcast.